internet, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Clarisse if you're new here, and today's video is going to be an updated tour of my Notion setup because I recently kind of gave it a little bit of a makeover. I changed a few things here and there, so I've had a few people ask me to do an updated tour, and here it is. Hopefully this is helpful, and I hope that you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So this is what my homepage now looks like. If you have seen or have been using my previous Notion template, then the structure is relatively the same. I just kind of changed a few things here and there and mostly changed the look of it. So it just says Clarisse's Notion, and then it has this little quote that says, "Let 2024 be the year of confidence and opportunity." I love having like inspirational quotes and cute little photos or designs here and there sprinkled throughout my Notion just because I check it basically every day, so I want to make sure it's cute and aesthetic and it's just like motivating me. So this is like my quote basically for the year. It just kind of encompasses what I want 2024 to be like and to feel like. So then if you go down, it just has these three columns: general, socials, and school, which are the main categories of my life that I focus on, I suppose. And also I have this little calendar widget, which I believe is from Indify. By the way, most of the headings, or at least the GIF headings, I say GIF, some people say GIF, whatever. The headings that I use are from this artist called Myanmar. I'm gonna have them linked down below for you to check out because I just wanna make sure I give credit. But yeah, I have these three little columns, and these are the ones that I check the most, I would say. First, in general, I have a little shopping list that I'm gonna be honest, I don't really use that much. And then the first main page that I look at daily is my weekly plan. The header for this one is just a like little mood board or inspiration collage that I made at the beginning, I think, of November. Ideally, I would update this little header every single month with like a new monthly mood board, but I just haven't really had the time to do it yet. And I honestly love how this mood board turned out, so I've just been keeping it. As always, I have a little quote here that says, "The most important relationship you'll have is the one you have with yourself." And then I have reminders as well as goals for the week, which I currently don't have anything written, but I would usually just like copy these from my weekly journaling, which I usually try to write down like some goals or intentions for the week. So that's what I have here. For instance, like I remember one week my goal was to go on like 2 walks during the week, and I just had that written there so that I'd remember to schedule them later on. And this is my gallery view of my week essentially. And yeah, let me just open this up because I prefer the symmetry here, but this is essentially my week at glance, and I love how each of these days opens up into its own page, and I can like add my tasks for my to-do list of the day. So as you can see, it's easy because I can kind of have a glance and see what's coming up, and especially using like the highlighting and the bold feature, I just like color important things so that they stick out. So blue is usually for like any school deadlines, gray for like YouTube, and then I haven't scheduled any workouts for this week, but usually that'd be in like green or yellow. I just write down all of my like weekly priorities or anything that I have due that week, and I kind of separate my to-do list into each individual day. So yeah, for instance, today's Monday, I would just open this up. If I have anything to add, I would do so, but then I just can easily see like what assignments are due, what are my main priorities, and what are my tasks that I am hoping to get done. Then moving on to the rest of the things in my little general column, I have my budget tracker, which I haven't actually written or like compiled anything in yet this week, but I essentially use this to track my budget and to track my expenses. So if you want to use this, it has these little like tabs for each of the month, and guys, it took me so long to like customize everything and make sure the like equation worked out, but I basically adapted this from a template by Red Gregory and just like made it more aesthetic and more like fitting for my needs. So what I especially like is just the little category feature here where I can see what type of income and what type of expense this is, and then I can also refer to them by category here where I added this little filter to calculate the sum so that at the end of the year I can see how much money I actually spent, let's say on like beauty and wellness, or how much money I made with AdSense and all of those things. It's just like really ideal for me to have all that in one place so that I don't have to do the math myself, and I can just keep track of it as the year progresses. Then I have my goals page, and I showed this a little bit when I did my like prepare with me for 2024 video where I set my 2024 goals, so you should be familiar with this page. But yeah, I just love having a place where I can visually see my goals, and I love to customize this page and like make it cuter. I have this little reminder here that success is when accomplishing something makes you feel good. And then I have some short-term goals and some long-term goals. And I haven't been like spending too much time on this. Honestly, these are just like goals I transferred from my 2024 goals. And I have this little progress bar where I can see like where I'm at in terms of achieving that goal. Moving on to socials, my main holy grail page is this content planner, and I would be nowhere without this content planner. It honestly keeps me on track, and I loved how it turned out. I actually really like gave it a new look from what it was before. First, I have this little quote that says, "You are what you love," which is from Daylight by Taylor Swift, because I love that song. I had a lot of fun like customizing this page and just making it look cute. I also love this little graphic, again, from Myanmar. But first I have my goals here on the left. I have a content goal that I set for myself usually every month or so, and right now it's just to post more on Instagram because I'm trying to be more consistent on there. And then I also have my subscriber goal and Instagram goal, but it's really just to have it like visible. Under general, I just have a bunch of pages. I won't be diving into each and every one of them because honestly they're kind of random and not really that interesting, but sponsorships and collaborations is just like a page I have shared with my management so that we can see any collaborations coming up and we can like put it in a schedule. Dream brands, channel strategy, editing inspo is just a page I made with like different screenshots from videos I watch, and sometimes it gives me inspiration, but it's very, very random. Like I don't really refer to this that much. Video ideas is kind of similar. It's just a list of a bunch of video ideas. Content goals and milestones is essentially like my goals broken down into each quarter, but as you can see, it hasn't been updated really yet. And then affiliate and gifting is just somewhere where I can track all of my affiliate links or like any packages I am supposed to receive or that I have received and that I need to post about. And if you scroll down, this is my main content calendar and video tracker, which I rely on for every single video I make. And this is really what has helped me become more consistent on YouTube and just make sure that I'm like planning and organizing my upload schedule more regularly. So I have all of these little sections for like videos I'm planning, those I'm currently filming, what I'm editing, and what is posted. And if I open, for instance, I mean, my Notion tour, I didn't really plan it, so it's currently pretty empty. But just to show you guys an example, I have this little automatic, I guess, page template that fills in whenever I create a new like video page, and it has these little questions. So like whether or not the video is sponsored, what's the schedule like, what's the outline of what I'm gonna say or what I'm gonna do in that vlog, and then some like usually inspiration photos for my thumbnail. But I love to use this whenever I'm like brainstorming video ideas or trying to organize what my next month is gonna look like in videos. And then before I forget, I also have this little link to a small like Instagram version of my content planner, but this is really, really minimal because I'm not mainly like an Instagram person. But yeah, I just have content ideas and some small goals that I have set for myself. If we go back to my main page, we're now going to dive into the section that most of you guys are probably interested in, which is my university page. And again, I had a lot of fun just kind of like updating this setup and making it look cute. Here on the side, I have some random pages. I honestly don't check these that often, but it's just a link to my fall 2023 goals and my goals for this current semester. This reminders page is currently empty, but what I envisioned when I added that in is just to have a page where I can like write little notes of encouragement to myself, because I think sometimes like it can be easy to just kind of get lost in like the busyness of it all. And so I wanted to have a space on my Notion where I could just like have these little reminders to myself and basically little notes of encouragement for me to keep powering through during the semester. And then notes to self is more like just a place where I can write down any rants I might have, and it's just like a place where I can have little entries, because again, sometimes like we get really easily overwhelmed during the semester, so I liked having this little page where I can just kind of like journal and dump down any thoughts. And then on the side I have a little countdown to the end of the semester and this little reminder of things I can do when I feel burnt out. I just think this was a cute little thing to include. Here I have my classes overview, and this is a basically table that filters any assignments I have due within the next week. So any assignments that are due in the next 7 days are going to be written here. And I also included my readings. So I usually check this whenever I'm updating my weekly plan so that I can write down my due dates and write down when I'm going to do my readings or when I'm going to study for my quizzes. And as you can see here, I have this little like reminder feature so that I can be reminded of certain assignments like a week in advance if it's a bigger project or if it's a quiz I need to study for. And then here I just have like a page for each and every one of my classes where I usually link the syllabus, the teacher's information, and office hours, as well as like basically a list of all of the assignments that I have for that class. So again, this is just another table view filtered so that I only see the assignments in that class. And I have a calendar view of my assignments, which is very useful. As you can see here, like it just says every single thing that I have to do and when it's due. And I have a weekly schedule, which I just write down like what time my classes are at. And then if we just go back to the home page and look at this assignments page, this is just an assignment tracker, as the title implies, where I can see every single thing I have to do for every single one of my classes. And at the start of the semester, I will write down all of my due dates and all of my assignments in this so that I can just, again, have that like filtered view back in my university page. And it takes a while, but honestly, it's super like worth it and super efficient for me. It's just like a system that has worked very well. And yeah, I can see every single assignment I have to do. That is it for those little sections. Now, if we scroll down, I have my daily check-in, which is essentially all about my routine. I have been really focusing on my routine basically since the start of the year. So I added this little section where I wrote down like my 5 top habits for my morning and night routine. Whoops. There we go. I also have this little section here where I try to insert a daily gratitude and daily intention. I honestly do this whenever I remember to, because honestly most of the time I just do it in my physical journal, but it's nice to have. And again, I have another playlist. And then if we scroll down here to my gallery view, this is low-key like a Pinterest board. I love how this looks. I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I spent a lot of time designing it. But yeah, these are just like random pages that don't really have anything to do with like anything I use daily. So I have these meal ideas here. Again, very straightforward. It's just like a list of ideas I can do. And then I have like categories for what type of meal it is. My library page is just like there to motivate me to read more. I actually read 4 books so far, so let's update that. I have my little to be read list, which I actually also have read this and that. My travel plans is, as the title implies, somewhere where I can plan my trips, and it's currently shared with my sister because I'm going to be joining her on a trip to London and Edinburgh soon, actually this week. But yeah, I'm going to be honest, I haven't been that good at utilizing this page. It's more like a place where I write down recommendations of places to visit. And especially like in this want to go section, if I'm like watching a travel vlog and someone mentions somewhere that they have been to, I just write down like those recommendations so that if I ever do actually plan on going to that country or city, I have already some recommendations easily accessible. My wish list is currently empty, but this is just a page that I usually update like around my birthday or around the holiday season so that when people ask me what I want as a gift, I actually have something to refer to. But honestly, I also use this if I want to like purchase something that's maybe a little bit more expensive, and then I put it on here so that I can like sit on it and think about whether or not I want to make that purchase. Journal prompts is just, as the title implies, a bunch of questions that I like to ask myself sometimes when I journal, or like some inspiration if I feel like switching it up from my usual questions. Again, self-care ideas is pretty straightforward, but I like that it's there if I ever like need it, and if I ever like want to practice self-care a little bit more intentionally and maybe try something different or try something new. Similarly, with my bucket list, I have this list of essentially activities that I can do by myself or with friends, and yeah, it's just fun to look at if I'm feeling bored. I also have like this little section where I can add different activities per season, because sometimes there are like certain activities I want to do in the winter time or in the summertime, whatever. I can just write that down there. Places is where I like to write down any recommendations I have of like different places I should visit. Most of these are coffee shops, so if I'm ever looking to meet up with a friend and like we want to try out a new coffee shop, I can just refer to this page and have like a list essentially. And I can also like write down if this place is a go-to, if I've been before, if I've never been. And then last but not least, I just have this area dedicated to lists. It has my monthly journal entries, so I did this one for January, but if I were to do one for February, if I'm making a new page in this little database dedicated to list. It has these templates I can choose from. So right now, let's say I'm doing a monthly entry. So yeah, it has basically all the prompts that I use every single month whenever I'm doing my monthly reflection, and I write this down in my journal, but I also think sometimes it's helpful to have it like on my Notion, just because I use it for so many things. I use it to organize like my school life, my content, and just my personal everyday life. So it's just nice to have that easily accessible. I think that is pretty much it for my Notion setup. I hope that this was helpful. I'll actually have a link to a template of this if you want to like customize it, download it. If you want to tag me on Instagram in like photos of it and how you customize it, I love to see how you guys make it your own. But again, I really hope that this was helpful, and if you want more videos related to like productivity and just like becoming the best version of yourself, feel free to subscribe. I try to post every week. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!